kind of entertainment. I think the voice actor has never, in most cases, never seen the script before. So we're relying so heavily on the director to kind of guide us and to trust what he or she says that very different than stage acting that way.
Right. I mean, you don't rehearse it. It's not memorized. It's all fresh.
And because of that, you don't have the arc of a play, a beginning, a middle, and an end. So there's like you're being thrown into these themes that you don't know where you're coming in. Like you said, the director has to tell you. Just get there.
Yeah, the director.
Trust. See.
The relationship with the actor and the director in specifically doing anime work, it's so different because when you're doing a play, you're working with the director during this whole rehearsal process, which you don't have in anime voice acting, and then when you do the actual job performing of the play, the actors are in control. The actors are maybe after the play, the director has notes for you about certain things. Right. But the director, I mean, have you ever gone to a play when the director comes up in the middle and, oh, well, no, wait a minute, could you emphasize this part a little bit more? I mean, that's just not going to happen. But when you're doing anime, on every single line, the director is critiquing you and guiding you and giving you direction on every single line.
Yeah, and it's very tedious work, too. I've had people come in that wanted to watch a session. I thought, all right. They sit there, yeah, in the first 10 minutes, yeah, this is awesome. Like, I gotta go because I'm hungry and this is boring.
Yeah.
I mean, it's every line, the minutia, they just, yeah, it's a little tedious.
That was too clicky. Try that again.
I can still hear your clothes. You're running. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
I think that the voice acting has helped me with my stage acting, particularly in the audition process. Because that is a choice that the vocal choice for a character was usually something when I was doing the theater that it was kind of in there somewhere, but it wasn't the first choice that I made. And now because of voice acting, I have that figured out very quickly about a character when I'm doing a stage audition. And I like that. It kind of sets the precedent for the other choices that I might make. And gives me a starting point. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so
I really like that.
Yeah, it's weird. I never used to do it that way. Yep.
Well, it's something that people don't think about all that much, I think, either with stage or with film. Because I've heard people say, you know, in regards to certain anime shows, I think, oh, well, Bill Rogers sounded an awful lot the same in this show and that show. It's like, well, that's because he's the same person, you know? But people don't ever complain, well, Tom Cruise sounded so much the same in this movie as that movie. Like, what are you people talking about?
Didn't you jump up on the chair and scream about space aliens in the last one?
I mean, it's just a funny thing that no one ever mentions that about anybody who's performing on camera or on stage, that their characters sounded the same in two different productions. It's like, yeah, because it was the same person. You know, and that's why I think it's really important, like, making these comparisons, because when we're talking about, like, doing an anime character, it's creating a character, and the voice is the only thing that you hear, but there are so many choices made about that voice, like how high or low is it? Do they have an accent? Do they speak slowly? Do they speak very quickly? Are they very formal? There are all those different things that go into it. It's not just making a voice.
And you can put different dimensions on a character with that voice, like you can add weight to a character or add age to a character, all with that one tool.
Right.
Is amazing.
Right. I mean, sometimes the director will say that, you know, to make the character sound older or sound younger or whatever, and you have to do all of that with your voice. But I think the stage training definitely does help. Most of the people that I know that are in any kind of acting usually started off on stage, not everyone. And you can meet one of those people tomorrow. His name is Kyle Hebert. Very interesting.
He had an interesting start. He started different than most of us. He started in radio. So it's interesting.
Yeah, he worked well. I mean, he can tell you all about this, but it seems logical to people, like, oh yes, you worked in radio, and that would be such a normal step for people to go from working in radio into doing voice acting, and it really isn't. Because I've known so many people that work in radio, and most of them just do their radio voice. And they're always begging their friends, who are directors on anime and cartoons and stuff, like, hey, can you get me a job working on that anime stuff? And that's how every character is going to sound that they do.
Yeah, I just, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, actually, I had an instance with this recently where I was working on a PSA for a charity organization, and they were like, they wanted this, it was, you know, about children that have been neglected and whatnot, so I put a lot of emotion into the performance, and then the client went back to the director and was like, this is really sad.
You want a cheery, upbeat.
And the director was like, well, that's the point. We're trying to get people to donate to this charitable organization to help these children. And they were like, well, we want to try something different. And they ended up, gee, what a surprise. So-and-so's friend works in radio, so maybe we should bring him in. So they brought the other guy in, he did the read, and they were like, it's missing something. And the director's like,
emotion!
Acting! My friend is a voice actor. There's a reason that actor is in there. And I'm not saying that radio personalities aren't great. There are people who transition wonderfully. And, you know, Kyle being, you know, a perfect example of that. But there are people who are just, they're very stuck in that radio performance thing. And it's like, won't you help the children today? You know, it's like, no!
Let's make this public service announcement about abused children cheery and
Yes. Yeah, there's nothing more disheartening when you are auditioning people, particularly when they're stacked 15 minutes per, and it's 3 days worth for 7 hours a day. And they come in and they're new and you're excited and you want them to be great, and they have radio experience and they're great, and they're talking to me like, you know, I'm really excited about it. And they sound like, you know, James Earl Jones or something. Perfect! And he goes in there and, do I stand right here? Yeah. Oh, look, it's a science fiction character. Wonderful. And then they start going and it's like, stop, wait, put that down. I mean, I think, wow. And they're used to selling copy like, this is going to be the best thing. Like, they're used to that and selling per word in a sentence. And when it comes to, they can't imagine the other person there with them and they're not used to this medium. And it's just really, it's crushing because I think, wow, you sound great and you can't act. And that sucks for me.
Well, you know, one of the dodges that I've known directors to use is like in an episode of an anime, there will sometimes be a scene where there's an announcer or like a TV reporter or something, and they bring those guys in to do it, and they're perfect.
There you go.
And then they say to their friends, "See, I told you I could act." You know.
I'm playing the alien overlord in the next series. Starbuck, I'm going to destroy your planet, but first, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
This is a little off the topic, I guess, but back onto the versus the stage versus the whatever. I like voice acting because when you go in, you know that there's a time limit on it. You're going to start something and complete it that day. I like the same thing about theater. You get in, you know you're going to rehearse for a set amount of time. You're going to complete something in a set amount of time. What I don't like is the hurry up and wait of film and television.
Oh, yeah.
And so for the type of actor I am, I want to get things going. And I don't like sitting around with a magazine for 3 hours, waiting to do something else for 30 minutes, and then reading a magazine for 3 more hours, which is what film and commercials normally do. So I like the fact that those two things about voice acting and stage acting are similar, which is when you get there, you're going to work.
You're going to do something
Right.
right away, and you know how long it's going to be. Right, and she's absolutely right. Anything that you do on camera, whether it's film or commercial, whatever, I mean, you're going